Imagine for a moment a garden that keeps thriving even when the rain stops for weeks. A place where your plants stay green, healthy and productive without daily watering. Long before sprinklers, drip lines or automatic irrigation systems existed, gardeners in some of the world's driest regions mastered a method so efficient it's almost magical. They used simple clay pots buried beneath the soil to deliver water directly to plant roots slowly and steadily. This ancient system, known as the olla, pronounced Oya, might just be the drought-proof secret your modern garden needs. For centuries, people living in arid climates had no choice but to conserve every drop of water. In North Africa, China and parts of Latin America, farmers developed incredibly effective underground watering systems that used gravity, clay and natural capillary action rather than pumps or pipes. The principle was simple. Water should go straight to the roots, not evaporate on the surface. Instead of pouring water over the soil and losing much of it to heat and wind, they buried porous clay vessels near plants. As the soil dried, the clay pot released water through its microscopic pores, keeping the surrounding area perfectly moist. This method, called Olla irrigation, allowed plants to water themselves. Once filled, an olla could provide consistent hydration for up to a week, depending on climate and soil type. An olla is an unglazed, porous terracotta pot with a rounded belly and a narrow neck. Gardeners bury it so that only the neck remains above ground. The pot is filled with water and sealed with a lid or flat stone to reduce evaporation. Over the following days, water slowly seeps out through the pot's walls as the surrounding soil dries. This creates a self-regulating watering system. Plants draw moisture only when they need it. If the soil is already damp, the clay pot stops releasing water. If the soil dries, the pot releases more. There's no overwatering, no runoff, and no wasted water. Modern research confirms what ancient gardeners already knew. Olla irrigation can save between 50 and 70% of water compared to surface watering. It also encourages deeper root growth, which means stronger, more drought-resistant plants. You don't need to be an archaeologist or spend a fortune to use this method. Actually, you can make an olla from 2 simple terracotta flower pots. First, choose your pots. Find 2 unglazed clay pots of the same size. Then just plug the drainage hole in one with a cork or a bit of waterproof sealant. Next, seal the pots together. Apply waterproof glue around the rims and press the open ends together so they form a closed, hollow container. Now, the next step is to bury your olla. Dig a hole near the base of your plant and place the pot in so that only the top inch or 2 of the upper pot is visible above the soil. It's really quite simple but makes a big difference. After that, fill your olla with clean water until it's full and then cover the opening with a lid tile or even a stone. That helps keep debris and little creatures out, you know. Once your olla is set up, it can actually keep plants within a radius of about 2 to 3 feet well watered for up to 7 days. It's a surprisingly efficient method, really. While ollas were common in dry climates, other historical watering systems shared the same smart principles. Wick watering systems, often made with strips of cloth or cotton rope, date back centuries. Gardeners ran these water bridges from a reservoir or jar into the soil near a plant's roots. Through capillary action, the wick drew up small, steady amounts of water as the soil dried. This simple trick kept container plants and raised beds consistently moist without daily watering. Trenching, another ancient technique, focused on guiding and holding rainwater where it was needed most. Farmers dug shallow trenches or furrows between plant rows to catch runoff and direct it toward roots rather than letting it flow away. In extremely dry years, they even buried organic matter, like straw or manure, at the bottom of trenches to hold moisture longer. When combined with ollas or wicking systems, trenching created self-sustaining gardens that could endure harsh droughts with minimal effort. You know, the secret wasn't technology. It was really about understanding how soil and water naturally interact. Old gardeners didn't fight against nature. They worked with it, plain and simple. They knew that deep, slow watering encourages roots to grow downward, where the soil stays cooler and, well, wetter. Moisture held underground faces less evaporation loss, you see. Microbes and earthworms thrive in evenly moist soil, improving fertility and structure. By respecting these natural patterns, they grew abundant food even in climates where rainfall was unpredictable. You can easily adapt these traditional systems for modern use. Start by testing 1 or 2 ollas in your vegetable bed or near thirsty plants like tomatoes, squash or peppers. In containers, you can use small wick systems made from cotton strips leading into water jars. It's a simple trick, really, but it works wonders for keeping your plants hydrated. If you garden on sloped or sandy ground, try digging shallow trenches along contour lines to slow runoff and collect water during rains. And mulching the area with straw or wood chips will lock in even more moisture, making your efforts go further. Over time, you'll notice something quite remarkable. Your soil becomes softer, cooler, and more alive. Plants develop deeper roots, and watering becomes less frequent, but, you know, much more effective. As climate change intensifies and droughts become more common, these time-tested methods are, well, more valuable than ever. Unlike modern irrigation systems that rely on plastic tubing and electricity, ollas and wick systems are low-cost, sustainable, and honestly, just timeless. They require almost no maintenance, yet they deliver water exactly where and when plants need it. This is why archaeologists still find ollas buried intact in ancient farms and desert settlements. They lasted for decades and kept working silently underground. It's time to bring this forgotten wisdom back into our gardens, don't you think? Whether you're growing food or flowers, an olla or wick system can truly transform how your plants drink and thrive. Quite fascinating, really. You'll use less water, spend less time watering, and still enjoy lush, resilient growth all season long. Try making a few clay pot ollas this weekend. Test them side by side with traditional watering. You'll be amazed at the difference. Sometimes the smartest solutions aren't new at all. They're the ones our ancestors mastered centuries ago. For more simple, proven techniques that keep your garden thriving naturally, subscribe to Gentle Herb Living and rediscover the timeless art of gardening with the earth, not against it.